lost Derek Carr early on, replaced by Marcus Mariota. It was nice to see him in there. He looked good. He didn't look good enough. Raiders lose again. It's 4 of 5 now in the loss column for them, with their playoff hopes all but dead. Coach Eric Mangini is joining the conversation this morning. Good to have you, Coach. Good morning. But, Nick, I want to start with you. This Raiders team started 6-3. They beat your Chiefs. They were rolling. What happened? How did this team fall apart?
I'm into that 1 second. Just very quickly, I'm happy for Marcus Mariota. He got a chance. I thought he played well. I think he maybe gets an opportunity to compete for a starting quarterback job. It's a guy who's always conducted himself well in this league and obviously didn't work out in Tennessee, so I'm happy for him. Now, to the Raiders. Nobody likes somebody to say, I told you so, but I told you so. Everyone's like, oh, Nick Wright's such a hater. Oh, after they lost to the Chiefs, I came on TV and everyone's congratulating the Raiders. Oh, they're dangerous. Oh, they're scary. Oh, they've given the Chiefs trouble. They beat them once, almost beat them a second time. And what I tell you, they're going to be the best team to miss the playoffs. I might be wrong about that. Not even sure they're better than the Vikings. So, you know what? They're going to be one of the best teams to miss the playoffs. Coach, they have a fancy new stadium in Vegas. They haven't been able to have fans there. Next year when fans show up, do you think they'll have one banner for beating the Chiefs or two banners for beating the Chiefs and almost beating the Chiefs a second time, as those are the two best moments of the Gruden era? I'm not sure, because this team has been terrible since they played the Chiefs a second time. Some would say the Chiefs kind of stole their soul. I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. But I know this. Their defense stinks. Their quarterback's okay. And John Gruden falls apart in the second half of seasons. These are things I know. And some of us saw it coming. Other people thought they were being a hater. So that's what happened to the Raiders. And do I take joy in the Raiders' failures? Yeah, I do, actually, quite a bit. Where's that victory lap now? How about that? Where's your victory lap now, Raiders? Remember that moment of Arrowhead? Yeah, where's the victory lap? How about that? Yeah, victory lap.
You know, there's so much to unpack from the lead into this segment. I want to give a shout out to Ambrose. I hope he's watching. I don't know how he feels right now. And the idea that people call Nick a hater, well, yeah, so that's much, right on. Coach. I don't know what's wrong about calling Nick a hater. And then Wild saying that Nick's never wrong. I'm thinking, what show have I been watching all year? But all that being said,
that's enough.
To get back to the Raiders, look, I'm a little frustrated with where they are as well. I picked them to be the team that emerged from where they were last year, and they did have the late season collapse. They were 6-4 last year, couldn't put it together, and really they've lost 4 out of the last 5. But they probably shouldn't have beaten the Jets. I mean, it really should be 5 in a row. And when you look at what happened with John and the old adage, to whom much is given, much is expected, he gets an unprecedented contract. He gets unprecedented control, and expectations are through the roof. He comes in, he's completely made over the team. I think there's 6 players somewhere around there that have been that were on the team when he got there. But all that being said, doing an overhaul takes time, and I know nobody wants to wait, and nobody wants to see things not materialize immediately, but it does take time. And he stripped this thing to the studs and has put it back together. And I'd say the one place that he hasn't made a change that maybe he wants to, and there's been a lot of indication that there is a desire to make a change, is at quarterback. You know, he gushed over Marcus Mariota when he brought him in, and now he's getting a chance to see where he is, and maybe that's the next step in the makeover. Is this disappointing? Yeah, it's disappointing. Is this an unprecedented year with COVID? Is it an unprecedented year with moving the organization? Is it an unprecedented year with the volume of injuries that they've had? I'd say all those things play a part in this, and it's disappointing, but there are elements that go into this that are a little bit out of their control.
Coach, do you think there's any credence to the fact that the Raiders are sort of an emotional roller coaster? Where do you go? No, that's a no. That's a strong no when you're just like, I'm not here. I'm not. You know what?
I'm going to grab a drink.
Obviously not, dude. I'm going to go get a drink while you blabber.
If Ambrose had texted me.
Pass along my number, please.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Wes.
So they beat the Chiefs, did the lap around the stadium. They also beat the Saints. And then they lose to the Falcons, they lose to the Chargers. Not in that order, but, you know, those were their highs and lows. So it's not like the team isn't good enough to beat these great teams, but it feels like they get up for games and then just disappear for games. So how much of it is tactical and how much of it is emotional?
I don't think it's all a function of getting up and not getting up. They have had a significant amount of injuries to starting players. And I don't have the numbers in terms of missed time from starters, but it's been a big number. I would say the most surprising thing that's happened is making the change at the defensive coordinator spot. When you have to change a coordinator, that's problematic. When you feel like you have to change the coordinator during the course of the season, to me that's even more problematic, and it's indicative of I don't know if it's panic. I've never been a big believer in that. I don't know if it's thinking that that's going to add some shot in the arm or some sort of boost that'll propel them through the end of the season. But that to me is the most surprising part of this. You're saying, hey, our personnel is good enough. The injuries don't matter. It's the play calling defensively that's been an issue.
Well, to me, my biggest concern if I were a Raider fan, and thank God I'm not, would be that after the Chiefs game, you got annihilated. And then you escaped against the Jets. That Jets game could have been the de facto end of your season. And you had an opportunity then to be like, guys, we got to get it back together. We got to get back to the team we were at the beginning of the year, even dealing with the injuries. And then since then, you gave up 40-some points to Indy, and you just lost to the Chargers. And the problem is, and we can show it quickly, and Coach said it, it's 2 years in a row now. 2 years in a row, they're 6-4 through 10 games feeling good, and then just a collapse. Just an utter and total collapse at the end of the year where their offense starts scoring a touchdown less per game and their defense starts allowing a touchdown more per game. And so I'm sure injuries play a part, but some of it has to be the guy with that unprecedented contract in that graphic right there, John Gruden. And obviously he's going to be there next year, and he has to figure out what is happening to where the team can beat the Saints and the Chiefs in the first month of the season, and then starting around Thanksgiving, almost lose the Falcons, almost lose to the Jets, get a nice